Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm going to teach you how to make some backgrounds with the beautiful two-step plaid stencil by Craftread. When you open the pack, this pack actually has two different stencils, both of which can be used on its own. So you have a more a detailed one and a more open design. And both of these, either you can use them separately or use them together because they fit perfectly over each other. Here is an example where I've used grey and red colors to ink a piece of white cardstock. Okay, let's start with the first background. I'm going to use some Distress Oxide inks and a piece of cream cardstock. I've cut all the pieces to a size of slightly more than 5.5 inches by 5.5 inches square. Always remember to attach your stencil firmly to the paper by applying some washi tape on the back. This ensures that your stencil doesn't move while inking and also gives you a nice crisp design. So I'm going to start first, and I always keep a magazine handy, an old magazine, when I'm inking, so that I can just put the color and tear off the pages as I use them. Now you can see I'm starting with the first color, which is peacock blue, and I'm using a blending brush to simply apply the color on the cream paper. I find blending brush is the best way to ink because they are very good at helping you control the pressure that you put on the paper. And another secret to getting a good blend is to apply layers of color. So apply the color lightly first and then keep adding more layers till it is the exact shade that you want. Now once my coloring is done, see, this is the first layer of the stencil that I have used, and you see the beautiful impression that I get. Now we will use the second stencil from the set. I decided to use a darker shade of blue for the second stencil, and you'll see it's very easy to align it over the top. So just make sure you place it exactly. Take your time doing this step, and then slowly flip the paper over and again put pieces of washi tape. Now I'll repeat the inking again. The shade I'm using now is Faded Jeans, and I'm again taking my brush. I didn't bother to wash it or really clean it because both the colors are pretty much in the same color family. And now I'm just applying the darker blue through the stencil. Don't press too much while you're doing this step because otherwise the color will get through the holes and get under the stencil, and you will not get a nice crisp impression. Again, use a scratch paper to hold the stencil down so that you don't get any finger marks. Now the inking is done. And there you can see the beautiful design that we get. Either leave the piece to air dry or you can just hit it with a heat tool. Since I've used Distress Oxides which stay wet longer, our first background is ready. Now we're going to use a craft card base, and I'm going to use two shades, one blue and one green. And this time we are going to use only one of the stencils. So again I'm attaching the card base to the stencil with a washi tape. And I'll just flip the stencil over, and I will start with the green color first, which is I think peel paint. So I'm going to be applying layers of color towards about half of the cardstock piece, because I want to get sort of an ombre effect on this. Again, apply layers of color, and one thing to remember, whenever you are using any kind of colored cardstock, please test the colors on it first. So you can see the impression which I am getting, but there. Now I'll start with the blue, and like I was saying, always test the color before you use it, because since we are using colored paper, it is going to change the color of your final product. Though with distress oxide inks, since they are hybrid inks and they are semi-opaque, it doesn't affect the color much, and they in fact look very beautiful on colored or dark papers. I've finished applying the blue color. Now I'm going back to the green. This is the best way of getting a good ombre. That is, you keep going between colors and keep blending it so that you get a very nice gradation of color. So after I have finished applying the green, I will go back and apply some more blue. And there, our piece is ready, and you see how beautiful this looks. Now I also added one more detail to this cardstock, which I will share when I show you how I made the card. But for now, this is a craft base with an ombre shading. And here are the supplies which I have used to create this effect. Okay, now let's start with the next card base. Now, like I told you, I like to keep an old magazine, and I've just torn off the top paper and turned it over so that I can use it. Now this was a piece of handmade paper which I found. It's a rectangular piece and I really liked the color. So now I'm putting the stencil on it. This is the same one which we used with the craft card base, and I'm again attaching it with a bit of washi tape. When you're using handmade paper, just make sure that you really secure your stencil very well, because handmade paper has a lot of cellulose in it, which means that your tapes and all don't really stick very well to it. What I'm doing now is I have a small cube of white pigment ink, and I'm using a finger dauber to apply the paint through the stencil to the paper. There you can see. What the pigment ink does is it lightens the color in the areas where it is applied, and since it's a pigment, it sits on top of the paper, so you have to take care not to smudge it too much. Now with a small cube, the easier way of doing it is you can just lift the entire cube and apply it directly to paper, which is what I'm doing now. This just helps the process go much faster. The only thing to remember is don't press the cube too hard, because otherwise all the ink will gush out and you might just damage the surface of the pad. Now wherever I feel that the ink was a little light, I'm going back and forth, sometimes using the finger dauber and sometimes using direct to paper, to make sure that the coverage is very even. There, now our inking is done, and you can see how pretty it looks. This gives a very nice subtle effect, but we are going to take this a step further. So I've hit it with a heat tool and dried it completely, and I'm using a dry cloth to clean my stencil. Now I'm going to replace the stencil over the paper, but this time I'm going to offset it slightly. For that, what I do is I align it with the inking which I have already done, and then I just shift it around a little till I'm happy with the effect. Once I'm happy, I'll again put back the washi tape. And now I've taken a distress ink. Now distress inks are basically dye ink, so they are transparent, and I'm going to apply it over the pigment ink. Remember, your pigment ink has to be absolutely dry before you do this. Now I tested a corner and I was not very happy. I felt that the piece needed to be offset a little more. So I just shifted it. You can always do this. Always start in a corner, test it, and then if you're not happy with it, you can make slight changes. So now I've applied, replaced the stencil, and I'm again applying the distress ink through the stencil. What is going to happen here is the distress ink is going to sit on top of the pigmenting, and in places where the pigment is not there, it is going to sink into the paper. So those parts of the paper will be dark. You'll see that when we finish the inking. And I'm just using a dry cloth to hold the stencil down, and there. Our piece is ready. You can see the kind of depth which this type of inking gives. Okay, now let's start with the next background. I've already attached this stencil to a dark orange piece of paper, and I'm using some antique linen distress oxide ink to ink up the paper. Now this is a technique which you can also do with a white pigmenting, but this time I decided to use the antique linen because it has a very beautiful creamish color. And now you see I've covered the entire piece and you get a very nice subtle look with it. Now I'm attaching the stencil over the top again, offsetting it slightly. Just make sure you attach the stencil very firmly. Use a lot of washi tape if you need. In fact, most of my washi tape go in attaching my stencils. I seem to use them very rarely for any other designs. Now once the stencil is stable, I'm taking a dark orange distress ink and applying that through the stencil. We did a similar thing with our green background, but I'm going to take this a step further. Because once I have finished applying the orange, this is what the paper looks like. I'll of course dry it between each layer with a heat tool. And now I'm again offsetting the stencil and putting it on top. It's the beauty of the stencil, you can keep adding layers of colors to get different effects. And don't be scared to experiment with this, because you'll be surprised by the lovely effects which you get. Now I'm using a dark brown distress ink to apply it over the paper, and when you remove the stencil you get this very beautiful, very 3D kind of a plaid background which looks very velvety. You can see the different shades which the three inks have created with the orange card base. So here is our orange card base and with the inks and the other supplies that I have used. Okay, we come to our final background and I'm using a dark red piece of paper and I'm using the other stencil which we haven't used as yet on its own, attaching a bit of washi tape to the back of the stencil and the paper, and then my trusty old magazine again for the inking. Now I'm going to use antique linen and black soot, that is basically cream and black for the inking. So I'm going to start with the cream color and cover the entire stencil with it. And here is the background. It looks so beautiful on its own. I think it will make a great card, just these two colors together. But now let's take this up a step further. So I've hit it with a heat tool and now I'm offsetting the stencil and putting it on top. This is a bit of a fiddly thing because you have to be very careful when you align it. And please remember to attach the stencil very firmly, because my stencil shifted a little after I started and I had to go back and reattach it. Anyway, I'm applying the black ink to it now. Now you may have noticed that I did not cover the entire stencil. Part of the paper is actually off the camera, so I didn't ink up the entire paper. But these stencils, it is very easy to cover larger areas because aligning them is very easy. So now I'm going to remove the stencil and see the beautiful effect which you get. Now to cover the bottom half of the area, I will simply take the stencil and align it with the top portion, the black inked area, and attach some tape to it, and then use a bit of scrap paper to hold the stencil down and ink rest of the paper. So here our red background is ready. I think this was my favorite of all the backgrounds, and honestly I had a tough time even cutting it up because it looks so beautiful. So here's the final background with cream and black distress oxides. Okay guys, now that all our bases are ready, let's get to assembling the cards. I made a total of 9 cards out of all the backgrounds which I made, and I will just go through each card and just explain a little bit on how I created them. So the first one is this, which we made with the green background and white pigment ink. I kept this card very simple because I just love the depth which this background has. You can see the different shades of green that have come, and all that I did was I die cut some clear vellum. I put 2 layers of that, and then I stamped the sentiment and in a color, in a darker green, and popped it up with some foam tape. So this is the first card, very sweet and simple. Next I have 2 cards which I made with a cream card base. It was this cream color. This is the original color of the paper, and I cut one large piece out of it, and with the remaining piece I put it at the bottom here. This is a die which I cut 2-3 times, and I stacked it. And this little piece of paper which you see, the strip, it's actually a colored vellum by Craftread. I just love the beautiful colors that this vellum is available in, and I just put a strip here beneath the die cut, and then I stamped a companion sentiment here. Very, very nice. This is a most of my cards in fact are perfect for guys, because plaid is something which is very suitable for masculine type of cards. For this one, again I kept it very simple because I just love this background, and I stamped this sentiment in a darker blue, and I added a little bit of chipboard here. You can see this? Okay, so this chipboard is from this chiplet set called Let's Party, and it has a lot of small party and birthday themed pieces. I used this pair of wine glasses from here. Now originally this thing was cream like most chiplets are, but these chiplets are very easy to color. So I just inked it with this ink, the base ink, and then you can just see, and if you see a little bit of glimmer, I just added some sparkle paste to it to highlight. So these are the 2 cards with the cream card base and the teal and blue combination. now we come to the craft card base, the paper that I used. Craft is one of my favorite colors to use, and I'm really happy with the way these cards turned out. I gave it a sort of an ombre effect when I was inking it, so there is peacock blue on top and then peeled paint at the bottom, the Distress Oxide colors. And I added a little bit of highlight. You can see the sparkly lines. That is done very simply with a gold glitter pen. After my piece, see, you can just see it shine. After my piece was ready and dry, I just took a scale and drew these lines, and that just perked up my piece so much. So to assemble the card, I die cut the word hi and the circle. You can see I stacked the circle a few times to give it some depth, and then I stamped the companion sentiment on a small piece of teal paper, and I've mounted it here. So it basically says hi birthday boy. Now for this, I had only this strip of paper left after I finished this card. So I put it up here on the side and I stacked some craft and teal paper panels under it. And for the sentiment, I used this triplet set called mini tags. This has a lot of these tiny tags which are so cute, and you can ink them, you can stamp on them, a lot of things that you can do. So in my case, what I did was I simply stamped a sentiment in a teal color on it, and then I took some waxed cord by Craftreel, made it into a bow, and I've just stuck it here. So now these are the two cards with the ombre teal inking. These are the two cards which I made with the orange colored paper. This was the exact piece of this paper which I used, and I cut it into two on a slant, and one I just put it at the bottom. I added a little strip of cream here and then added a die cut sentiment. The second card I went for a slightly funkier look. I added a strip here with a little bit of, you can see the stitching detail on it, and then I inserted this piece of paper underneath, added the sentiment here and a bolder sentiment here. So these are the two orange ones. These are my favorite backgrounds of all. This was the red color that I used, and I inked with cream and black. So very striking background. So what I did was I cut a piece out of it in the size of 4 1/4 inch by 5 1/2 inch, which is the A2 card size. And then I simply die cut the shape out of it with a rectangle die. So now I have had this one piece, and this was my second piece. So for the first card, I just popped it up with some foam tape at an angle, and I added the sentiment on a strip of red paper and put it below. And for the second card, I cut this in the same shape
and the paper which was remaining after I cut this piece out, I put it at the base. This is a red card base that I used, so I stuck this here. And for this, I wanted to keep it simple, so I just stamped the happy birthday sentiment with black ink. And just to add something more, I added a stitching line with a black gel pen around the edge. So these are the cards.